cricket. Cricket? Nobody understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
Fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music.
Dominguez kicks the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the ball game and the series are over. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. A grand slam for Bryson and the Phillies have the National League Championship.
Welcome back, Chasers, to another edition of the Quit Chasin' podcast. A little cheeky, a little irreverent, always unqualified. We're here to talk Phillies and a little bit of life with you. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, everyone. How are you? That was weird. Hey, everyone. How are you tonight, Alex?
There he is. He's back, folks. I'm doing fantastic, Danny. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just needed to ease my way into this, apparently.
It worked. It worked. After the game that is currently being televised and played by the Philadelphia Phillies, we just need to kind of blow off some steam and hop on a pod and just start talking, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm coming in.
Inning it is, but it's 8-3 and we're losing to the Red Sox. So yeah, let's just record.
Yeah, it's funny. I got that text from you last night being like, hey, are we going to watch the game and then record? And we both agreed on let's see where it goes. And then we had not talked to each other about our normal time. We just signed on at our normal time. The game dictated it. I did not have to reach out to you. Everyone knows what's going on.
100%. 100%. I got an NBC. All right, that's the final 9-3 Red Sox over the Phillies. Yeah, we saw that coming, guys. We saw that coming. But we're going to get there, folks. As you know, it's time for us to talk about the week that was. So first off, let's start our week exactly where it began, which is in London. That's right. The London series for 2024 between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets kicked off on Saturday afternoon with a Phillies win. Phillies 7, New York Mets 2. Welcome to London. Harper channeled his inner Carly Lloyd with a soccer slide after his home run to tie the game. Whit Merrifield broke the game open with a 3-run shot, and Casty, for good measure, added a home run too. This game was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Right, big game feel, international competition.
Was it?
International tournament.
Did it have a big game feel?
I think it did. I honestly think it did. It was at an odd time. Yeah, Harper's doing the slide. Come on, big game feel.
If Harper were any other player on any other team playing against us and did that, would you hate that so much?
Oh, hate him. Absolutely hate him.
100%. If you're not a Phillies fan, you got to hate Bryce Harper after that moment.
I would be ripping on him. I'd be like, that was a weak ass slide. What's he even doing? Like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
I would probably use the word jabroni a few times.
That would be it. That would be appropriate. But he's our jabroni, so we're gonna celebrate it. And I loved it. I did. I thought it was fantastic. That was a fun game. But then came Sunday, Danny. New York Mets 6, Philadelphia Phillies 5. One of two, well, now 3 stupid losses for us since we last recorded. Team effort to lose this one, folks. We had a lead in the 9th, and Alvarado on the mound. Alec Boehm whiffed a barehander. Jose hit a batter with the bases loaded. JT allowed a pass ball run to give up the lead. And even though we had the bases loaded and 1 out, Casty hit into the rarest of double play balls to end the game. The worst part was it would be JT's last game for at least a month after electing it for knee surgery upon returning to the States.
Yeah, right. Couple of things with that. So Crossing Broad did that article then on Monday talking about the joys of 10 a.m. Sunday baseball, and I couldn't get behind it. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. It's a sunny 80-degree June Sunday. You know, we're 50 miles from the coast here in Philadelphia, and I'm stuck in my house watching Mets fans dance in London because of a complete meltdown. So it ruined my whole Sunday. If it wasn't a loss, any other team, I don't know, a whole bunch of, intangibles that maybe I would be like, yeah, this 10 a.m. Sunday baseball thing is kind of cool. But if that was my taste of it, I'm not into it. But a couple things on the game. So, like, how many times are Phil's going to give up a lead?
It seems more than I'm comfortable saying. For as good as his bullpen is, it does tend to happen, doesn't it?
It really has been. It's been, yeah, and just multiple leads in one game like that.
Yeah, like how many times do we have to fight back just to give it right back? Literally happened tonight. You know, you give up a lead, then you fight back, and then it's gone within moments, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, that was a rare Taiwan. I don't want to call it a gem, but
For Taiwan, it's a gem. For most places, it's a cubic zirconia, but for Taiwan, that's a gem.
Yeah, rare Taiwan cubic zirconium. I'm into that. Let's keep that.
All right, I'm here for that.
And we'll get into more on the London series.
We will.
But just all around interesting, right?
It was an interesting 2-game series, a weird ass home and home, but then we came home, and we didn't come home. We went straight to friggin' Boston. So from one side of the tea party to the other, the first game was Philly 4, Boston 1. I was at a work event, and I decided to dedicate myself to my job as a career professional. So I did not watch this game until the 8th inning. Danny, honestly, man, this is your time to shine, man. Take it away. What happened?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Phillies take the first against Boston. Paul Revere didn't warn Crawford that Kyle decided to check his calendar as he leads the game off with a moonshot. A little hustle and another solo Schwarber bomb did it for the boys. Wills gave up his first run in the first inning for the first time. No worries. He righted the shipping up to Boston and goes scoreless his next 6. We have a bounce back from Alvarado, and the Phils took the first one.
That was dude. I did not see, because I kept seeing the Dunkin' Donut ads today, sipping up to Boston, and I wanted to enjoy that, but because of the way this game was unfolding, I could not enjoy that amazing wordplay. So the fact that you just threw that in there, that made my heart happy. Thank you for that.
I left that out of the show notes.
I'm so happy you did. That was a great drop in.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, that was a fun game. That was a goofy game. There it is. Ring the bell. We haven't done that in a couple of days.
Darn right.
That was a fun game. That monster, man.
I'm going to get into that later with Amped Up, but I have some strong feelings about the monster, and I don't understand how I've never noticed these things before, but maybe it's because I am looking at baseball games this year with such an analytical eye, because I know that we're doing this podcast. I'm noticing things I maybe just kind of took for granted or didn't consider before. But I am so excited to talk about the Boston Stadium in a hot second, because that was the last good game to happen inside of Fenway. Because then came the next 2 games.
It was that monster, though. My sister is a Red Sox fan. She was a catcher in her day, and she played, collegiate catcher.
Okay, respect.
Really enjoyed Jason Varitek and the way he went about his business and played the game. So she's become a Red Sox fan through her fandom of Varitek's.
I'll allow that, actually. That's solid.
Yeah. And I text her at one point. I was like, well, it's good to see that Wall gives the same amount of fits to the home team. So
it's something. It's the dumbest thing I'm going to save it. I don't want to blow it here. Yeah. I don't want to blow this load. But folks, stay tuned for my thoughts on classic baseball architecture and why I couldn't care less. But that's going to take us into our second Boston-Philly game. Philly 6, Boston 8. We had a 4-run lead, then a 3-run lead, then a no-run lead. Well, you see how this one turned out. One of the most frustrating games we've seen yet. First, Christopher Sanchez had it. Then he didn't. Jose Ruiz usually has it. This time he didn't. Spencer Turnbull usually pitches, but this month he hasn't. It sucks. It didn't feel right. But as the immortal sage, Danny Gerb, said to me through text, these aren't the Phillies. Not right now.
No, absolutely not. And it looks like it. So here's the thing. This game and tonight's game, the games 2 and 3 in Boston, they aren't the Phils, right? I mean, they're the Phils, but they're not the Phils.
They're Phillies light. They are. You know what they are? You remember that scene in Spaceballs where they're running through Spaceballs 1, and the guy that works for the bad guys thinks that they caught the team, but no, they caught the stunt doubles. Okay, that's what this team is right now. This team is the stunt doubles of the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's exactly what it is. The guy with the beard and the cigar as the princess.
100%.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, and we'll get into this later. We got a lot of things to get into later. That's gonna, shape some of our earlier stuff. But I think there's a morale issue going on.
Ooh. Is that Marsh being down? Is that JT going? Is that just the fact that the injury bug has? All right. So I was thinking about this earlier today, and for the last 2 years, other than Harper having extended stints on the DL, we've stayed relatively healthy. Are we just finally cashing in the checks that we like? We should have, in theory, we should have brought home a pennant at least once in the last 2 years, and we didn't. So now we have to do it with injuries turned back on in this game of MLB The Show. Like, is that just what's happening?
I think that's probably what's happening. I mean, they've been relatively lucky with injuries, and relatively still are. I mean, Turner's
100%.
Turner's on his way back. Marsh is on his way back. JT is probably at the All-Star break or a little after. So that is really nothing. But you're seeing these articles and you're hearing Top talk about Sanchez getting those like final 2 pitches after Harper came up to him because Harper took over the DP role. And like,
what's your thought on that?
I mean, my thought is that's great. He got 2 freaking pitches out of him. I'm glad someone's stepping up, but like, when you lose that quarterback, essentially, like your team may, as much as they bounce back and there is some depth and someone new is stepping up every time, like this is JT. Like he's the quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, I could name 3 movies off the top of my head where the backup quarterback comes in and is a revelation. All right, you got Varsity Blues. All right, you got I was going to say Friday Night Lights, but he was actually the starter. He just wasn't the star. And then you got Any Given Sunday. So sometimes the backup quarterback can provide the spark that you need. I don't know.
I want to talk about Brown.
I don't want your life. So look at that. Look at us bringing football into this. But no, it's been frustrating. And I do think that if we're going to get hurt, let's get hurt now. Let's get that shit out of the way. And let's hope that we're not hurt come October, because God forbid, I do not love how many little injury bugs have been creeping up so far this year. Like my yellow flag is up, and I'm paying attention to just how many nicks and scars and bruises are coming up, because I'm not loving it.
So what are your thoughts? And we haven't talked about this. So what are your thoughts on the JT news comes out, and then we sit down that night to watch a baseball game, and you have T-Mac telling you how this was planned a week before London and all this other kind of stuff. Like, that's cool. It settles me down in some regards. Like, okay, they're strategic about it. There's a plan. Like, it wasn't bad enough that he, stopped the show. We got to get this guy into surgery. Like, they planned it he'll play in London, and then they'll do it then. When we saw Marchand being added as that extra player in London, I thought it was weird. But going back to the quarterback analogy, like teams carry 3 if we're going overseas. Like, sure, I didn't really raise an eyebrow too much at it. I did think it was little strange of the pick, but now that makes more sense. But like that whole just giving the Delaware Valley a collective heart attack an hour before game time, just to be like, oh hell, hold on, this has been planned.
So all right, you got me on that. The way that the news was released and all of that was not ideal, but I am clued in enough to the Philadelphia media and just how what's the word I'm looking for? Preschoolish they are, that they would have taken this story and just hammered it home and sowed so much fear into the heart of Philadelphia. And you know what? They came out with a news story, and then we still came out and won the game. So I am a little bit happy that they didn't have enough time to really stir up the fervor. At the same time, the whole reason that it's happening now is because I'm guessing it couldn't wait any longer, and B, Trey is about to come out. They didn't want to be minus both Trey and JT for an extended period, so they had JT kind of suck it up and do what JT does for as long as he could until he had to get the surgery. And here we are now, and I'm okay with it. If that's the plan, if that was like, dude, I need you to just kind of suck it up for another month and then we got you, then cool. That's a great idea. I'm happy they did it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem completely strategic, and I trust them. I don't know. When you hear it, it makes it, like I said, it comforts me and like rubs me the wrong way at the same exact time. If that's possible, but it is, and that's what happens.
No, I think that's fair. And I'm not that crazy of an all Philadelphia sports fan, but given what I know about the 76ers organization and how they've kind of handled injuries and transparency and stuff, I could see the Philadelphia fandom at large seeing this and having a bad taste in their mouth just because of how the Sixers have handled this type of stuff in the past. So I think you're onto something there, but I think at the end of the day, we're going to get JT back at a good time. And I'd rather it now than August.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So really, that's it, guys. We were in
Tonight's
London.
game blows.
Tonight's game blows. And Danny and I talked about this. I am now not as excited about my Saturday game in Camden Yards with Taijuan Walker on the bump, which usually, I mean, I would feel fantastic with Taijuan Walker on the bump, but somehow, some way, I am not sold that it's going to be great. However, we'll see. We'll see what kind of fight this team has in us, and we'll see if that London calling is still kind of hanging us over.
Yeah, I think it's going to be ugly in Baltimore, but we'll find out.
Yes, we will, sir. Yes, we will.
All right.
So in the agenda, I don't have this segue built up. So
I got it. I got it.
All right.
Hey, everyone, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to have a fun little game for you. We're going to have some British nonsense. We'll be right back, I think, in a moment. I didn't have it queued up, my man.
That's fine. I'm all right with it. It's okay. ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball. Stole my bit, Danny.
Okay. You had to start a rock band. Who would you take from the team, and what's the band name?
I texted you like 2 weeks ago, and I said, "Yo, why don't we each come up with a rock band made up of Philadelphia Phillies players?"
I take Kyle Schwarber. I take Stubby. I take Pache.
These jerks at ESPN stole my bit, asked Brandon Marsh, and they waste it's a 10-second bit when you can easily get a 10 to 15-minute conversation out of that question alone. I am irritated that they stole my bit. Guys, we're still going to do it.
Stay loose and sexy, baby. There you go.
The Quit Chasin' podcast is a proud part of the Old City Sports Network. Hop on over to the Old City Sports Network and check out some of our favorite shows. Flyers Alley, 2nd and 15. Check the net. And stay tuned because Pub and Grub is going to be bringing some fantastic content your way. And if live entertainment is what you're after, we're here to make that a little easier for you. With our sponsor, SeatGeek, you can get $20 off on your first order when you use the promo code Old City Sports Network. Don't forget the E at the end of old. No matter who you are or when it is, it never hurts to look your best. If you have a beard in need of some love, make sure to check out Warlord Beard Essentials. And while you're there, use promo code OLDSPORTS in all caps and get 15% off and then free shipping on all orders over $65. Lastly, Danny, I highly recommend you check out Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel. Hop on over to the Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel website and use promo code OCSN, all lowercase, and get 15% off of your order, plus free shipping on orders over $50. It's going to be a long season. Treat yourself and get a big old bundle of meat to snack on. You're worth it. Fantastic. So we're gonna hang out with Game Time, guys. And Danny, you did some research on a British drinking game that we are going to test out and try out. And why don't you explain to the folks what you found?
Yeah, so I found a British drinking game. It was on a UK Reddit. It's called On the Bus. I don't know if it's played in the US, and it probably is now because college kids like to drink, and the internet is a wonderful thing. So there is 6 rounds. We took out the last 2. One, because it's a podcast. And number 2 is because it is supposed to be played with a deck of cards. But we, being a baseball podcast, are playing it with baseball cards. Yeah. So, the first round, well, I'll announce it as we go. Well, I'll explain the rounds as we get to them. How's that?
That sounds exciting. Folks, Danny, you are playing with a 2024, is that Topps deck?
Yeah, 2024 Topps. Absolutely.
2024 Topps baseball.
Series 1.
Series 1. I am playing with also a first series Topps baseball cards from, let's see here. Oh, God, I had it earlier. 1990. This is Topps baseball cards from 1990. Never open. I'm going to be opening them fresh on air here. Let's see what we're working with.
Well, do you want to, after we get through the round, do you want to reveal the nostalgia? You don't want to give me any clues.
No, absolutely not. I'm not giving you. I will show the nostalgia at the end of it. So I forget how many rounds of this we're going with, Danny, but I'm excited. This is going to be, wow, real fun.
Flip 4, and then we'll go from there. Also, what are you drinking, Alex?
I am drinking a Liberty Creek Pinot Grigio. Liberty Creek Pinot Grigio. You know it because it's got our favorite Liberty Bell on it.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. I went with because, keep it kind of relevant, the Guinness, the Baltimore Blonde.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of that beer.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead, Dano.
First round is I will pick a card, then you will pick a card, and it's simple. I will not show it to you. You then, so the way the game is actually played, you just guess if it is a red or a black card. So for our baseball version, Alex, you are going to guess this first round. Am I holding an NL player or an AL player?
All right. You are holding an NL player.
That is correct. It is Chaz Chisholm Jr., and I will take a drink.
Outstanding. All right, Daniel-san, my turn then. Am I holding an AL or an NL card?
1990 Topps, right?
Yes, sir.
I feel those were American League heavy, so I'm going AL.
You are going to have to take another drink because it is my friend Willie Randolph from your Los Angeles Dodgers.
Okay. All right. Round 2 is what? Normally high or low, where sorry, even or odd.
Right.
So in our case of baseball cards, we are going pitcher or fielder.
Yep.
Am I holding a pitcher or a fielder?
I was thinking about this. Fielder, that's like a 1 in 9 chance. Pitcher that makes a baseball card worth. So I'm gonna go fielder.
You are correct. It's Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. You actually called out Freddie Freeman earlier today when you were suspecting who might be in these packs. That's amazing. All right, Danny, is it a fielder or a pitcher?
Fielder.
It is absolutely a fielder. It is Wallace Johnson of the Montreal Expos.
Nice. Enjoy
first base.
That Pinot Grigio.
I shall. All right, round 3.
So round 3, the way it is played is you pick a card and guess if it's an even or odd number. We are also doing an even or odd number, but our baseball version, even or odd jersey number.
Damn right. I'm here for it.
Am I holding an even or odd jersey number?
It's going to be even.
You are incorrect. It is number 27 of the Angels, Mr. Michael Trout.
Did you look at these cards before the game?
Of course I did.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Now a lot of things make sense. All right, then, Danny, my fella, even or odd. I may have given it away by saying it was a guy, but even or odd number.
Even.
It is number 76, Kevin Lee Seitzer, third baseman of the Kansas City Royals in 1990.
Yeah, who are these guys?
Who the hell knows?
All right. Round 4. On my notes, it's so it was guess the suit. We are doing guess the team.
This is gonna be really hard.
Yeah. So who am I holding? What team?
Oakland Athletics.
You know what I'm asking. No. Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves.
I would have never, because I like to forget they exist when I don't have to actively think of them. All right. Well then, sir. My question. Oh shit! I got a drink. But to you, guess the team.
Guess the team. Kansas City Royals.
I don't think this is close, but I'm going to consider it close. That feels very similar, but the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh,
That's as close to Kansas City Royals as you can get. It is Thomas Anthony Henke, the pitcher of the Toronto Blue Jays.
So
let's do it again.
You want to do it again, or do you want to do the Quit Chasing version?
Let's do the Quit Chasing version of this illustrious podcast, folks. I'm going to 1989 for this version.
Okay.
And instead of going different players each time, we're going to use those same 4 questions, but on the same card. So I'm going to look through these and find, that's a damn good one. It is one that you absolutely know of. So that is the one hint I
Don Slott.
It is not Don Slott. All right. So same rules. If you get it wrong, you have to take a drink. You go one question at a time, but it's all on the same card because at the end, round 5, you guess who that player is. So Danny, I'm going to go first. All right. Is this AL or is this NL?
This is. Oh, wait. Are you asking me?
I am at the card that I am holding. Am I holding an AL or an NL card?
You are holding an AL card.
I absolutely am holding an AL card. You're correct.
That's right. Cool.
Now you go.
All right. Am I holding an AL or an NL card?
NL card.
That is correct.
Drink, sir. Now, am I holding a pitcher or a fielder?
A fielder.
Absolutely, that is a fielder, my friend. You're holding a pitcher, though.
I am not. He is also a fielder. Oh, shit.
Damn it. All right.
Because I'm having fun.
I mean, that's
All
fair.
right.
Sometimes you just get parched.
Okay.
All right. Uniform number, Danny. Is my person an odd or an even?
Odd.
It is not odd. It is even number 24.
Even. Okay.
Yours is odd.
Mine is odd.
Okay. What number?
23.
Oh, is it Michael Jordan? No, I'm kidding. It's not my guess. But it's kind of my guess. But it's not my guess. All right. Last question before we get to the player. Guess the team. So it is an AL fielder, uniform number 24 in 1989.
AL fielder. You know what, man? I am just feeling the Royals today. And
You are feeling the Royals. You are feeling the Royals today. It's not. It's the New York Yankees, but you were feeling the Royals, and I love that.
So here's the thing. 1990s Yankees.
There's an amazing documentary on one of the streaming services right now about them. They're the worst.
Should be fairly, I don't know. I'll get in the ballpark.
It's a big name. It is a big name. It is.
Yeah.
And I think yours is the team the Phillies?
Nope.
Oh, I really thought it was going to be the Phillies. Okay. All right, Danny. Well, I got to take a drink. Who do you think is
the San Diego Padres?
San Diego Padres, number 23, 2024. Yeah. Shit.
All right. 1990s Yankees. I'm going to go Steve Sachs.
It is not Steve Sachs. Love that guess. It is Ricky Henderson, baby.
Oh, man.
Ricky Henderson. Like I said, I knew you would know him. All right. So San Diego Padres. God, I wish I knew more Padres. Manny Machado.
Tatis.
God damn it. I was thinking Tatis. I was thinking Fernando Tatis. Son of a gun.
Yeah.
I'm so mad at myself right now. So mad at myself. That was fun.
Yeah, man.
That was awesome. We'll do this again. Because I have so many packages of baseball cards up in the attic. That was amazing.
Did Steve Sachs even play for the 90s Yankees?
I couldn't tell you. I don't think so. He wasn't in that documentary, but I also don't think Ricky Henderson was. So my memory is a bit hazy, and it's a drinking game, so I suppose that does make sense.
Yeah, he was on the Yankees in 90.
Thank God. I'm proud of you. Proud of you for knowing that. All right, folks, that was a whole lot of fun. I hope you had a whole lot of fun with us, and I hope that you took something from this, and that is the rules of the Quit Chasing drinking game, and that you played at home. And tell us how it goes.
Play the Quit play the Quit Chasing drinking game at home. Send us an email. Reach out to us on our Facebook. Reach out to us on Twitter. Let us know how hammered you got playing the game. We really want to know. It's fun. It's going to take off, I know.
Once it does take off, we will host a live Quit Chasing drinking game tournament. As long as that's legal, I don't know what.
Yeah, we'll do it. That sounds good.
Right.
That
sounds like fun.
So we did that. Yeah, we did that in honor of British pub culture, British pub drinking, and British pub games, and all that other kind of stuff. So let's talk some in honor of the Phils being across the pond. Let's talk some British stuff, right?
Absolutely. When we were kind of pitching around this episode and what it was going to be about, and we kept going back to Lou Brown's I love this British shit. It was really like, what is that British shit that you love? And Danny, what's one British thing that you just absolutely love?
I love this shit. I may move to England.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the one, Lou Brown.
One.
Maybe Lou Brown saying that.
Okay.
Here's the thing, like I was that whole British invasion and then the second British invasion, like big fan of a lot of the stuff that came out of there. Now, everyone will talk about like the Who and the Rolling Stones and
Rolling Stones were just in Philly.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Good for them. The Who and the Rolling Stones and some little band called the Beatles.
The Beatles.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. Like the Zombies and the Hollies, like I love the Hollies. Absolutely love the Hollies. Like Bus Stop to me is like just a weird little sounding love song. It's a little creepy, but it's just got a vibe to it. Like all of that stuff has a vibe. How about you? Do you have a British invasion band?
Oh my God, it's the Arctic Monkeys. It is the top to bottom. I know it's not any part of a British. I guess like maybe British Invasion 2 would be Oasis. I don't know, but it's the Arctic Monkeys day in and day out, dude. I absolutely love them from their very first album, kind of through now. I think they peaked at AM and they've been kind of slowly going downhill since then, and that's okay. They're getting older. All bands reach that peak and that zenith and then start to kind of deteriorate and just get slow and sad. Cage the Elephant's finally caught up, but Arctic Monkeys, 100%. That is my favorite British band, and it's not even close to anything else.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, no, that's kind of cool. So, like, I think that second wave, like, they might be third. I think that second wave is like that early '80s, '81, '80s.
Oh
like
shit! So not even Oasis and Coldplay.
Tears for Fears. No, no, not Oasis and Coldplay. It was like the '80s synth stuff that was coming from over there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And like out of that group, like that's Tears for Fears, right?
Yeah, Tears for Fears was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's that. So I'm into that stuff. I think you're more of a TV and film guy than I am.
For sure. So some of my favorite British shit in the TV and film industry and era. As far as TV goes, Luther, starring Idris Elba, is absolutely fantastic. I never got into Doctor Who. No, Idris Elba.
Jessica Alba.
Right, but the other Idris Elba, the other one. Both just as gorgeous as the other one. Let's be honest. But having said that, it's one of my favorite shows. It's a great detective show. I never really got into Doctor Who and all that stuff that I'm supposed to get into. Monty Python, like I see what you're doing, I appreciate it, but like, like it's kind of like the Beatles. It's like I get it, but like, like okay, love me do, okay.
For another episode, not this one, because of my controversial takes last week. I'm not doing it 2 weeks in a row. Well, we'll get there. There's going to be a time for it, and I'm here for it, and I want to have that conversation with you, Alex.
I'm not saying I was baiting you, but I was baiting you.
I'm not. Good try. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Yeah, I'm with you. Same with the Monty Python stuff. Like, it's just not funny to me. And the worst part about it is, like, when I hear it, I think of like just like that high school, like those like high school nerd balls that were wearing like the bowlers, just like being different for the sake of being different. And like just being like, Oh, it's merely a flesh wound. I'm like, dude, you're not funny. That's not funny. It's your hat is stupid. Like, and
Your hat is stupid.
I haven't grown out of that.
Oh my god.
So like I
I
can't
do
do
actually know. I do know because I see the value of Monty Python, but it never did it for me. It never really it was never that gut busting laugh out loud funny. And like I've seen The Flying Circus, I've seen Life of Brian and Holy Grail and all of that. And it's just like, okay, I see it, but like, all right. Honestly, British Office, I understand that everyone falls all over themselves, but give me Steve Carell, John Krasinski and the crew. Like the American Office, it went on too long, but for when it was in its stride, it was better than the British Office. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm sure they would call me uncultured. I just don't find their humor to be funny. I mean, the guy who was the closest was what's his name? Simon Pegg and his buddy.
Oh, I do love Simon Pegg, and yeah, that's a good crew.
Absolutely, they get it. And what's the Bridesmaid, Rebel
Yes.
Wilson and the
Yeah.
whatever her like roommate boyfriend was in that movie, whatever his name is, like that type of style of humor I
Right.
can get into. But like that's few and far between,
That is fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
So no, I have you ever been to Britain, London, any of that?
No, not at all. So I get
Me
into
neither.
these arguments with Kim a lot. So she is a world traveler. She has been in the double digits of countries, and keeps on telling me like, "Hey, we got to get here. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure I will." Again, call me uncultured. I have no interest in seeing like the unbelievably anciently old.
Okay.
Like the old world for some reason just bears no interest on me. When if and when I get to travel internationally, like I have way more of a desire to get into like the Central and South Americas than
I
the
get that.
European countries. Yeah.
I get that. I think like the Aztec and the Mayan culture is so much more fascinating than the Greek or what have you. Actually, Greek's pretty solid. Greeks, I don't know. I would go check out other countries, but I haven't been further west than Ohio, so I feel like I kind of need to check out our country first, and then I'll get there. So
That's also how I feel about it. I feel like in this internet culture world, you get a lot of people that rip on the United States, and then like you feel the need to defend it, but it's very easy to defend. Like, yes, we speak our language. That is because, we don't have 7 countries the size of Rhode Island within a 20-minute walk from us. Like,
that is true.
Some people can't even get across their own state. So, like, let's just put that in perspective. And there is so much in this country.
There's so much.
Are gorgeous. Like, I'd rather see Yosemite than a crumbling building in Greece. No offense to Greece.
I'd rather see Mount Helena than Everest, I think. Like, I mean, I'm sure either way, it's amazing. And this way, it's
and I'm not
like,
taking away from any of that. And like Kim actually has a really cool spin on it. She thinks it's hysterical that you go into these old world countries and there's this bridge from the 1500s or pre-1500s, this old ancient building that people come from all over the world to like see, and then the locals are like walking over it, like stumbling home from the pub, like pissing on it at 2 a.m, just being on the phone like, "Oh, Jenny's a real bitch. Can you believe what she said to me at work today?" While there's like tourists who took 16-hour flights to take pictures of this really old bridge, and she just gets a complete kick out of that. And I could see that too. Like that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. But really, when we're talking about that international life and we talk about that travel piece, we're talking about kind of the London series in a lot of ways. And Danny, as part of our media stables, let's talk a little bit about the deficiencies of the London series and the fact that, for a couple of days, the United States of America had the opportunity for Major League Baseball to really shine on the international stage and to really make a spectacle and to show us that any other country gives a flying hairy ass about baseball. And I feel like they just didn't do it. I feel like they didn't land. They didn't stick the landing. What do you think? Well, what I think is
it didn't play. It didn't play. I guess I played it too much. Did we reach our limit of I love this British shit? I mean,
we must have.
Man, that was a disappointment.
That was.
Yeah, I hear you. So like, I do feel it had that international tournament feel to it. I do feel there was a big game feel to it. I feel though that the coverage was unbelievably lacking. So for me to get that feel, I had to scrub through the socials and see people's TikToks and Instagram reels that I had no business being on, because the national media was giving you Yankees and Dodgers in an empty Yankee stadium. And the Phillies, who at least gave it a God's honest try, or the old college try, they were talking about Harper's bat and watching the Fanatic, go across Piccadilly Circus and, the East Passyunk pub. And I swear, Alex, man, if I saw another piece on East Passyunk pub, like, dude, you that segment, that pub, you ran it to the ground. As far as I'm concerned, from the coverage of the London series, there is one bar in London, and it's a Philly bar. That's the only place that exists there. And like, yeah, it was a fun little story. It was cool to see. I didn't need to see it a million times. Like, I wanted to see something else. I wanted to get the more of I've been a lifelong Phillies fan. I've never been over there. I'm so happy to see them. Man on the street stuff, or the local bar that isn't East Passyunk filled with, every Goomba and Goomar from South Philly in it. Like, I wanted to see the Wexham locals, if you will, all huddled around a TV, like those World Cup shots that you get of everyone sitting at their table in a courtyard watching the game. I wanted to see that in London, and it just didn't happen.
Well, they absolutely fumbled. They fumbled every single bit of the coverage. I think the fact that when I turned on the pregame half an hour before the mere fact that, like, oh, I'm sure they're going to do some London pieces, some London people on the street, hey, let's talk to some British folks and see what they think about baseball and what they're excited to see with this series and why they're here in general and why any number of things. And we got none of that. We got absolutely nothing. And it's like, why are we even going over to London then? Why the hell do I have to go on Twitter to find out who Rob McElhenney is throwing the first pitch out to? And why is that not being broadcast? When you spend all the money and you make all the resources to make the teaser commercial, how are you not going to highlight then the finale of that bit? And how are you not going to capitalize on the fact that you're playing on an international stage? You're bringing baseball to a crowd that at that point, honestly, that was a huge crowd, and they gave a crap and they cheered. Like, how are you not covering this more? How are you not showing that this game matters on a world stage when you have the ability to do so? They completely fumbled it. They shit the bed. And honestly, the announcers on TBS weren't great, but so much better than ESPN on Sunday. I mean, I forget who the guy's name is that doesn't know how to pronounce anybody, especially Castellanos, which has never been his name.
Michael K.
Yeah, Michael K, but not Michael K. Williams, Michael K. And I'm just floored. I'm so floored that we had this amazing opportunity to showcase. And really, we're always talking about how football figures out how to expand the game, and football figures out how to make people care about it and how to get people hype. Baseball had every opportunity to make this London thing a proper spectacle that made people give a shit again about baseball, and they 100% dropped the bag. They shit the bed on the London series, and it's a damn shame because you had the hottest team in baseball from a major market with a massive fan base, and you did nothing to grow the game, and you didn't even try. That's what upsets me.
I'm with you. Bryce Harper was begging for that.
He did everything in his power to make this series matter and give a shit. And that's why, like, yeah, the slide was over the top. And yeah, the second he did it, I rolled my eyes, but I chuckled because he's our eye roll. but like he's doing everything to say like, yo, market me. You can do that. I'm fine with that. Let's put a face on baseball somewhere, somehow. Let's do in baseball what they do in every other flipping sport and have anyone serve as ambassador and serve as the face you think like, all right, Bryce Harper, like I get it. Maybe you are kind of selling yourself to be that guy, but someone's got to do it. So go ahead.
Someone does have to do it. Yeah,
Someone's
I'm with it.
Do it.
Like,
No one's doing it.
Bringing in the goofy bat saying in interviews that he doesn't care if he gets a letter from MLB. Like he wanted to be on display. He wanted to be the face of this game. You sent me that text. Bryce is begging to be the face of baseball.
He is.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
He's screaming for them, and they're just not going to do it, Danny. They're not going to do it.
No, it's a shame.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
But really, that's what I've got for the London coverage. And how about you? Do you have anything else to add on to that?
No, I think we covered it.
I think we did. Honestly, Danny, then at that point, I think it's time to hop on over into our amped up section.
Sure.
So looking at your amped up, one thing I'm super excited about is how positive it is in both categories. And I feel like too much because this started as pissed off and now it's amped up. Too often I go negative instead of positive. So I went a little negative, but then I'm going to go back positive. Okay. So I hope you're excited, holding onto your seat. But for my amped up, I'm going to go with stupid ballparks. And what I mean by a stupid ballpark is that thing in London where were we playing on a handball court? Did they play highlight there when it's not baseball season? What's going on there? The amount of bounces on the infield, the outfield, etc., the speed at which they were playing it. Like, I understand you play on the conditions that you have, but that was dumb. That sucked. That was a crappy field experience. That was not real baseball. I get it. You got to put turf on top of the soccer stadium, but like maybe let's just not do it. If that's the option, let's just not do it then, because that was a crappy stadium. And then we come back and we go to Boston's Fenway Park. And I alluded to this earlier, but I've never properly paid attention to the dimensions. Now my boss pointed out to me that he once went to a game at Fenway, sitting in right field, and he was really excited until he realized his seats were facing left field, not home plate, not where all the action was, but left field. It is a ridiculously, stupidly constructed field for the park. There is nowhere near enough space in the foul territory to do stuff. And the Green Monster it's one of the dumbest things I think I've ever experienced in stadium construction in my life. Like, people want to say that City Connect jerseys are softball-esque. No, the Green Monster is softball-esque. That is some stupid shit that you see in a 2001 PlayStation 1, MLB All-Stars 99 crap show that they don't know what to do. So they just come up with a bunch of gimmicks. The Green Monster, I'm sorry, Bill Simmons, it's really stupid. And I'm so done. Thank God we're out of Boston, and I'm done seeing balls just hit off of that stupid wall. But that's what gets me into my other side of amped up, which is I'm so excited to go to Camden Yards, because even though Taiwan's going to be on the bump and we are playing very, very poorly, I'm really, really excited to go to a classic American park, one that is in our footprint and one that I don't have a negative correlation to yet. So I'm really excited to just kind of experience it, see what it feels like, and with any luck, get to boo Craig Kimbrell.
I want that for you. Yeah, it's a gorgeous park.
Oh, I do want it. That's what's up. Go ahead.
Yeah. And listen, there's something to be said about Wrigley, and there's something to be said about Fenway. Like, yes, they're cathedrals. They're nostalgic. Don't touch them. We can also say they're stupid.
They're stupid.
Yeah. So, you know what I have for you, Alex?
What you got, buddy?
Let's go to the minor leagues.
Yeah, I'll go. Minor league baseball?
And hockey.
Go on.
I'm hyped up for the Hershey Bears. Bears. Bears.
Yes, sir.
They are not only the winningest franchise in AHL history, but they are on the path to repeat. Last night, they won in overtime against the Cleveland Lake Monsters or some Cleveland team. I don't know. Erie Lake, doesn't matter. To win the Eastern Conference Championship, and they're headed back to the Calder Cup Finals for the second year in a row. And Just wish the chocolate and white the best. Also, we have Mr. Brandon Marsh playing 9 innings tonight.
Speaking of chocolate and white,
in Reading, Pennsylvania.
So that's the Fighting Phils, yeah?
Yep, for a AA affiliate of your Philadelphia Phillies, the Reading Fighting Phils. I listened to an interview with him. He's just he's excited to see where his timing's at. He's excited to play 9 innings. He gave nothing but kudos to the entire organization, to from Reading to Lehigh and everything in between. And he talked about how the culture that they are making up in the big leagues of this is a game, this is fun, you have fun and you party. When it's time for business, it's time for business and win games. He's saying that they are cultivating that down there in Reading and in Lehigh as well, and that is why you have these guys coming up and delivering, and you have the big club welcoming these guys in. That doesn't happen too often. The big club doesn't welcome the new guys in too often. It's going on here, and you have Marsh not only doing 9 innings tonight, well on his way to coming back. Can't wait to see him. It's good that he's playing ball again, and just talking about the culture, just running deep into the minors. How can you not be amped up about it?
Amen. I'm so excited about it. And you know what would be cool if while he's down there, he could work on some left-handed pitching. And just maybe, I don't know, see if he can kind of break on through to that. But I'm here for it, man. Martian Reading, super excited. The Bears Calder Cup, like, cool. I guess if hockey's your thing, like, that's neato burrito. So let's hope they can bring home another piece of baby hardware. Love that. And speaking of loving it, Danny, and hating it, let's walk into this week's episode of Love It or Hate It. This week, Bryce was asked about Major League Baseball players and their ability to play in the Olympics coming up in Paris. And he said that it's a really good opportunity to grow the game. And it's a great possibility to show on a world stage what Major League Baseball playing talent is capable of. And it's something that seems like a no-brainer, and they should just take a 3-week break in the middle of the season so that they can play in the Olympics. And I want to know, Danny, what do you think of Bryce's idea for Major League Baseball to take a 3-week pause in the middle of the season to go play in the France-Paris Olympics?
Sure. If you would have asked me that before this Boston series, I would have said absolutely loved it. I love the idea of international competition. I love the Olympics. I love the World Baseball Classic. I would love to see baseball in the Olympics. I think it can be done. Hockey does it. They figure it out. They figure out a way. MLB could absolutely do it.
Basketball does it.
Yeah, absolutely. This just 2-game series in London, and there's off time and the travel, and what a mess it has made of a role of a Phillies team. I'm out.
No, you know what?
If your team is on a roll, if your team is on the hunt to hoist the trophy like this team is, like if this was a 2015 team, yeah, sure, awesome, cool. Let's watch some baseball in the Olympics. But a team like this, if my team is doing what the Phillies were doing, I would want them to stay away, keep playing. Let's go. Let's get there.
So, all right. So I see what you're saying, but I'm not as worried about the cold bats after an Olympic stretch because
it's not even that. Look at the pitching staff.
Yes. The days off has really, really screwed with them and everything. You almost need a second spring training to ramp back up into the season. But for me,
a couple extra days.
It was
a full 16-day Olympic.
Correct, but for me, it's the strain and the wear and tear. We just spent on a couple of weeks ago remembering about the World Baseball Classic and how when you have to ramp it up that much more in the middle of the season and things like that it does lead to bigger injuries and things like that, or coming back and being extra cold, extra fatigued. We've played a shitload of baseball over the last 2 seasons, and we're geared up to play a ton of baseball again this year. And just 3 seasons of deep playoff pushes, knock on wood. and you add an Olympics day onto that. Holy crap. What's happening to our team? So as much as I want to love it, and I do want to love it, I want to love it, in my heart of hearts, I can't, man. I gotta hate it. And maybe this is an opportunity for college kids to shine and for college kids to do their thing. But I want to love it, but I hate it.
So what if every 4 years in playing 162, you played 148? Would that change your mind?
I'd love that. I would love to see contraction on major sports schedules, but it's never going. They will never contract schedules because that's less home game revenue. That once you open that box, once you go to an 18-game NFL season, once you go to a 162-game baseball season, they're never going to scale back from that. Period.
Suit coats say there's money to be made.
They're gonna make the money. So I guess we're both on the side of hate it. Wow.
Yeah, it sucks. I want to love it.
I do.
Much. Yeah.
But it doesn't work. The loving it does not work. I know.
Yeah. It's a shame because I do want to love it. And I do think Bryce Harper should be a gold medalist.
Oh my God, he should be. He should be. Oh, but it's just not going to happen. That's all right. But folks, I think that's going to do it for us this week. I think that we had a lot of fun. We tried out some new stuff. We had some technical difficulties, so thank you for sticking with us to the end. We talked about some serious things, going over to London and coming back cold, and hopefully next week we have better news and better experience for you. But if you want to contact us, you can reach out to us via Gmail at quitchasingpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at QuitChasingPod. And as always, you can always hit up the Old City Sports Network website to grab some Quit Chasing merchandise and to support those who support us.
Absolutely, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll do better next week, I promise. We're going to close it out to you tonight with, since the boys are back home, From Philly with Love by the Handsome Pete's. You can get this song and the rest of the album, Get Pissed, or sorry Timo, at the Handsome Pete's Bandcamp. It's the Handsome Pete's, like the Simpsons character, .bandcamp.com. And everybody knows man can't move a rubber tree plant.